Flop Floppenhofer from ElitistJerkSports.com joins us tonight. Flop, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Pretty good, dude. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful, man. Obviously, let's talk first of all about the Final Four, and it is set. 4 teams advancing to Saturday's action: Michigan State, Butler, Duke, and West Virginia. Let's start on the West Virginia Duke side, man. What do you expect from that game?
Well, honestly, if West Virginia has their way, then it's going to be a sloppy game, defensive game. If things are going West Virginia's way, they're probably going to shoot lights out in the first half. You know how that went down in Kentucky. But I think Duke is the type of team that can match them shot for shot. I don't know if they have the athleticism on the perimeter to hang with them. You know, in theory they do, but that's always been the knock on Duke all year is athleticism. But, you know, don't know how much of that's racism, how much of that's reality.
Yeah.
But, anyway, I would pick West Virginia in the game right now, and I would say it'd be about 6 or 7 points. They're just a team that seems to win games, and you really can't figure out why when you're watching them. But they know how to win. They
certainly do. And on the other side of the bracket, you got the Butler, Michigan State, 2 5 seeds taking up. First time that's ever happened in the NCAA tournament. Yeah, obviously crazy. What are your expectations from that game?
Well, I mean, based on what we've seen so far, I think Butler's going to come out and look a lot better than we think they are. But Butler would be the team that I would pick, honestly, going into the game. I mean, I think they've performed as well as anybody in the tournament. They beat a tough Murray State team that's taken down, you know, Vandy.
Yep.
They beat one of the tournament favorites in Syracuse pretty handily for most of the game. They're a balanced defensive team. They can shoot the ball when they need to. I'm not sold on Michigan State, and honest to goodness, I think Tom Izzo is basically a magic man. I don't know how he's got there. 6 out of 12 years, but there he is again. But yeah, if I had to pick, I would take Butler.
So you got Butler and West Virginia in the championship game. Who are you going with if those two face off?
Gosh,
tough one.
Well, if what we've seen so far holds true, it'll be West Virginia.
Okay.
You know, they're game winners, man. It doesn't really matter if it makes sense.
Yeah, you're right, man. It seems that way, man. Every time you want to count them out, they come out and they just play good ball, and you know that's Huggins' ball for you. It certainly is productive and winning basketball. But I certainly agree. I think if West Virginia gets there, I think they certainly win the game.
Yeah.
I'm talking with Flop Floppenhofer of ElitistJerkSports.com. How you doing tonight, Flop?
Pretty good, man.
You're doing pretty good considering that I know you're a beacon of information in the big blue sea that is Lexington.
Oh, yeah.
And
your site,
I know this was earlier in the morning, but your site released a story basically aggregating some of the news that's going around. Not only are John Wall and DeMarcus Cousins, you knew before the year they were leaving. You knew Patrick Patterson was probably not coming back for his senior year. You had to expect to get him to leave sometime. But now, obviously, Bledsoe was the one that most people thought was the questionable one. He's leaving.
Yeah.
You've got Daniel Orton dropping his classes and going out to he's going out west, isn't he?
Oh, yeah, he's heading out to California. He's going to train for the draft.
Now, his dad said, and I've actually met his dad, too, some of the same AAU camps around the country.
Oh, okay.
When he was big on the circuit a couple years ago. But he said he's going to drop his classes just in case he needs to come back to UK. So, but is he still going to qualify next year if he drops these classes?
Well, see, that's what I don't understand. I mean, we've all been to college. You know, you drop classes this late in the semester. You're not dropping classes. You're dropping out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's basically going to either get an incomplete or he's going to fail all those classes.
Yeah.
But anyway, if that's what his dad wants to call it, his dad thinks very highly of him. Say that.
Yeah. Just rounding. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. He had mentioned that if he had gotten more playing time, he would have made DeMarcus Cousins look bad, and I just think that's ridiculous to say. There's not many players in the NBA that would make DeMarcus Cousins look bad.
In fact, you say put down the crack pipe.
Oh, exactly, man. I mean, what's he smoking? I mean, I love Daniel Orton. I love his upside. I love his defensive presence. I mean, obviously, bench scouts love his size. But he's shown no offensive game this year. I mean, the dude has averaged 3.4 points per game. And besides that, I mean, he's missed wide open gimmies, you know, under a foot shots, dunks that he's airballed. I mean, just wild stuff. He's probably led the NCAA in goaltending calls, if that's a stat anybody keeps. But I mean, it's To me, Daniel Orton leaving this year is a laughable principle. I mean, I know they draft on potential. I know he's got that potential. But, I mean, don't you have to see something? I mean, doesn't there have to be some sort of...
You certainly do, and, yeah, he averaged under 5 a game, but also he's had some knee issues that he's been recovering from. Real quick, I want to recap. We got to close out here, but Darnell Dodson, the JUCO member of that class, entering the draft, or at least, if not that, transferring. Rumors that John Hood, who went to my dad's high school in Kentucky, transferring. So that entire class is gone, and you're also losing a couple other key seniors and underclassmen.
Yeah, I don't think Hood is going to go. I think his father's came out and said that he's coming back for sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but definitely Dotson is gone for whatever reason and whatever he ends up doing. I mean, it's laughable that if he's going to try to get drafted. I mean, the kid was brought in as a shooter. He's billed as a shooter. That's the reason he has a roster spot, and he comes in and he can't produce.
Yeah, what was he did? He was terrible offensively.
Oh, he was awful. I mean, in the last game, I mean, he probably hit 3 3-pointers, but I can't remember. He must have missed like 7 or 8.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just unreal. I mean, when you're billed as a shooter, that's what you're buttering your bread on, you know.
Yeah.
And he can't deliver. So I mean, I think it's probably one of these things that's a mutual parting of ways thing. That Calipari, he wants to get a refund. He didn't he didn't get what he paid for. But anyway, I mean, him going to the draft though is just crazy. I mean, Orton at least has the potential to be a great NBA player, but I don't know what you would see in Dotson.
Yeah, me neither, man. I agree with you on that as well. It's funny how as soon as some of these guys start getting some advice, some bad sources, they certainly decide to take it. We want to thank Flop and Offer from joining us on the Thursday edition of Sports Xtra. You can always check out Flop's work as well as everybody else's work on EliteDistrictSports.com. Thanks for joining us tonight, Flop.
Oh, thanks for having me on.
As always, man, appreciate it. As I said, you can check them out at EliteDistrictSports.com. They do a great job there. An interesting take on sports, and Flop does a wonderful job of writing, and Jose on there, Jose Cortez, does a good job as well. A lot of other stuff that they got on there is just an interesting take on sports in general. But, hey, man, Flop's a Kentucky guy, and he's got to be hurting right now. They're losing everybody.
Well, they've been posting a lot of Duke-hating pieces this week, and I've been reposting some of those on our Facebook and Twitter. But it is funny to kind of go back over some of the reasons people hate the Blue Devils.
Yeah, exactly. 615-844-5600 if you'd like to check into the program on this Thursday edition. What we're going to do is take a short break. When we come back, we'll have Jack Ebling from SpartanTailgate.com, an ESPN affiliate site up there in East Lansing, and we'll talk to him about the Michigan State Spartans right after the break here on Sports Radio 560, WNSR.com.